So this is the edition of the KHOODEELAARTV television channel, marked as Part A of the KHOODEELAARTV television, being broadcast under the banner of Baby Angel Geronimo. Baby Angel Geronimo is the world's bestest, most unique, most truthful witness to all the evilness, bad things are going on in the United Kingdom. The baby angel Geronimo was born 10 years ago in New Zealand and lovingly raised by a woman called Leonie Walker. And then baby angel Geronimo was invited, let's put it this way, by a woman called Helen MacDonald in South Gloucestershire in England. Baby angel Geronimo did not intend to become the focus, nor to become the witness to all the bad things that have been happening in the United Kingdom under the pretext of the UK government, under the pretext of the UK Parliament, under the pretext of the UK judiciary, under the pretext of the UK media. On this program, we have been regularly broadcasting the various factual, evidence-based details about baby angel Geronimo's witnessing and the baby angel's absolute purity and innocence for the last 2 years, just over 2 years, I think. And we have highlighted the fundamental corruption and criminality underlying the otherwise overhyped British justice. There is no such thing as British justice at all. As baby angel Geronimo can testify, will testify, does testify. And what we are doing several unique things at the very same time. And we also point out that this campaign, Baby Angel Geronimo Editions, Baby Angel Geronimo campaign, and everything else we do by using the name and the experience of Baby Angel Geronimo, all of these are done by my organizing them, presenting them, advocating them, analyzing them, and neither I nor the campaign has ever sought any money or similar or any benefit from any source, whatever, wherever. And we do not intend to do that. It's a highly moral and ethical, universally spiritual campaign and effort and endeavor. Baby Angel Geronimo is with us, and we are privileged to do the campaigns for justice for Baby Angel Geronimo. Baby Angel Geronimo is unique, will remain unique forever, unique creature blessed by God. The planet has been blessed by God with the creation of baby angel Geronimo. Innocence, purity, absolute, adorable love personified by this baby angel Geronimo. All the other items, topical items, including, for example, the current hyped up issues to do with the media role about the serial rapist, sex offender criminal, Russell Brand, all the cover-ups and coverages about Brand and his apologies are included in the observations we call the Baby Angel Geronimo essay. So we shall move on to the next items, having introduced this. And the disclaimer is that we do not raise money ourselves and we do not encourage anyone else to raise money or benefit whatsoever. So anyone making any claim or suggestion that they are raising money or seeking benefits on behalf of any of our campaigns must not be trusted or believed. That is not true. And we shall be clarifying, amplifying further if necessary in a court of law if that becomes necessary. This is a highly spiritual, moral, ethical campaign, series of campaigns we are doing for the baby angel Geronimo. We love you, baby angel Geronimo, and we shall be keeping company with you throughout. Now, on the question of Rupert Murdoch, who has been called the dirty digger by the Private Eye magazine for decades, well, for quite a long time. Um, the news has been that he resigned from being the overall chair and the boss of the criminality called the Fox News and other criminal enterprises that he operated from the USA and the UK by extension, of course. Rupert Murdoch is a dirty digger and the only political personality or character who has commented on Murdoch's role so far has been the former attorney in Australia, licensed law trader, who appeared in the litigation over spy catcher Malcolm Turnbull, who became, based on that political notoriety he achieved, based on that he proceeded on to become the leader of Australia. But once he became leader of Australia, Malcolm Turnbull became as parasitical, opportunistic, careerist as the other politicals. So we don't make any particular case for commending him, except to say that he is the only one who has gone on record in a big way, commenting on Dirty Digger's reported rearrangement of his architectural kind of position in the architecture of the Rupert Murdoch Empire as the emeritus chairman instead of just being chairman, having passed over his chairman post to his son Lachlan Murdoch. We have nothing to say for Murdoch in positive terms because he's a liar and is the biggest evil propagandist in terms of the media in the whole world. And he has supported all the dystopian, evil, satanic forces. And he has undermined democracy and he has undermined the opposition to colonialism, imperialism, repression, and the creation and persistent perpetuation of wars. The Dirty Digger Murdoch is behind in a big way, if not in the biggest way, the propaganda, which is really a cheap thing, propaganda capital by the conservatives in the United Kingdom, based on the completely inflated figure of migrants heading for the United Kingdom. The number of migrants in the world is hundreds of millions. Hundreds of millions. And as one of the wealthiest, collectively, wealthiest economies, the United Kingdom hasn't got even a very tiny number of migrants wanting to reach it. But we shall go on to update on the migrants on the particular point that I made in 1992, 31 years ago, in January 1992, when I wrote and presented on Channel 4, the slot in the Channel 4 news slot, the slot that I presented. I presented several slots, but that one I dedicated, devoted to the examination of what is happening. I predicted what is happening. I predicted 31 years ago what would happen, and it has been happening now, which is that the criminals in charge of the United Kingdom government are spreading regular scare stories about the British islands becoming taken over by migrants. And the perpetrators currently of the migrant scare agenda narrative have been Indian origin criminals. Current criminal is the Goa, which is of India. Goa origin criminal called Suela, Ivila, Cruella Fernandez. And Fernandez has changed her name Fernandez for servility reason by getting married to somebody whose name is Braverman. Not inaccurate name in the context of Suela Fernandez, because nothing she has said is brave morally. It is completely opposite. So we should be talking about all of those in due course, just touching on this because what I said world exclusively on this issue 1992 has remained, and I'm not proud that it has remained because I would rather wish that what I predicted would have been acted on. Now, what I mean is that millions of people, hundreds of millions of people, are devastated by wars, famines, and dictatorship and fascism all over the world, especially across Asia. And many of the victims of the wars and fascism and dictatorship and racism and colonialism are heading for some kind of refuge. And that effort is being accompanied by thousands of the refugees, migrants losing their lives, sinking and drowning, and that is being condoned by the British criminals judiciary, the British criminals in parliament, the British criminals in government, the British criminals in the media. Now, going back to Russell Brand, as I keep saying, Russell Brand, when he surfaced about 17 years ago by the Channel 4 criminality called Big Brother House or Big Brother House Offshoot, there was a program called Big Brother Big Mouth. This evilness instantly got me wondering what a vile appearance. I mean, his completely foul appearance, his mannerism, everything was completely foul and evil. Now, the descriptions that have appeared in the last 1 week following the Sunday Times and the Channel 4 and the Times joint investigation, apparently, this series of descriptions coming from new claimants and complainants against and victims of the evilness called Russell Brand. This series is a tip of the iceberg by definition because he himself has boasted, he has himself has boasted that he has had sex with thousands of women. Now, I cannot even kind of think about it in a discussion. I mean, it's inconceivable. I mean, what is it there to do with thousands of people. I mean, sleeping with thousands of women. What is there? And the fact that he can do that, and the fact that he has been doing that, and the fact that he has been insisting on claiming that he has been very, very, very sexually promiscuous. What the media hasn't commented on is this one. This is one of the many things the media, British media, hasn't commented on. I'm doing the thing that they should have been doing. The fact that he has boasted, the fact that he has boasted and he is boasting even now that he has slept with thousands of women totally, totally contradicts and rejects his claim that he has made in light of the allegations that have been published by the Sunday Times, the Times, and the Channel 4 Dispatches program. He has said that his sexual relations with people has always been consensual. Anyone who boasts of having sex several times a day cannot have consensual sex on all those occasions. He may have consensual sex on some of the occasions, but by the physical definition of things, the rest of them cannot be consensual. And nobody has actually examined the claim that this criminal makes. Nobody has actually challenged him. That is one. The other thing is that the role of the BBC apart, because the BBC has been the target of the Sunday Times' editorial kind of policy to attack the BBC and to make the BBC more blameworthy than Russell Brand himself for the crimes that Russell Brand himself has committed. The BBC apart, the Guardian has been giving space to Russell Brand and giving an apology effectively, his side, which is evidence that the Guardian has been complicit with this rapist evilness all the time. Especially, the Guardian had Russell Brand as its permanent writer, or as a permanent writer on whatever rubbish he was writing. I never read one single piece because, as I said, 17, 18 years ago, when I first saw this criminal, I was instantly put off. And I have been vindicated by the events, by his behavior. And the Guardian allowed him platform for the years 2008 until 2014. And the alleged credibility that Russell Brand acquired to do his evilness was very much linked to the fact that he had a platform with the Guardian. So, the Guardian, if it is the world's most liberal English language newspaper, then that speaks for itself. The Guardian is not liberal, and the Guardian is not moral, and the Guardian is not for the rights of women, and the Guardian is not campaigning against a criminal, sexist, rapist, misogynist, violent thug. All the descriptions that the people have come up with, and the Sun website is where I have seen most of those in the first kind of instance, has been completely, undeniably grotesque and and unacceptable. So the question is, why did the Sunday Times, because that is the main paper on the weekend, why hasn't the Sunday Times followed up on the four women that have been featured in their, as they say, years long investigation? Why haven't they meticulously published the timelines about what each of the victims experience with the so-called law enforcing authorities has been? And why hasn't Russell Brand, the criminal, been indicted even now? The fact that the Guardian is also promoting Donald Trump in the USA by saying that despite the fact that he has got all these indictments against him, he remains the front runner to become the Republicans' official candidate for the election, presidential election next year. Why should the Guardian even say that? A moral, ethical, journalistic ethics would require it to actually examine the reason why people see him as the front runner. It should examine the sickness, the extent of the sickness in each of the individual allegedly supporting this evil, proven evil Donald Trump. Why does the Guardian not do that? Why doesn't the Guardian look at nasty Nigel Farage or the other British cheerleaders of this criminal? The Guardian doesn't do that. The Guardian hasn't examined Boris Johnson either. Boris Johnson is a serial sex offender. A serial sex offender and most likely a rapist who has been protected by all kinds of forces who are hiding, shielding him, and who are deterring, discouraging his victims from coming forward and becoming the public accusers. Why am I saying that is happening? Because King Brian, so called, has exonerated the known rapist, Andrew Windsor, the child sex offender and rapist liar who lied on BBC on the record about his alibi. King Brian has actually exonerated him, whereas he has expelled Harry. And he has expelled Harry not because Harry has committed any of those offenses or any other known described offense, but Harry has had the audacity to tell on the criminal compact relationship that has existed between the tabloid British media and the royal family, especially including King Brian, who when he was Prince of Wales. There is a there are two letters in the Sunday Times today about the evilness Russell Brand, and they're jokey letters. They're not serious at all. And there is absolutely nothing about the fact that a very small proportion of reported rape cases are prosecuted. Anyone who wants to know why the media is failing to report the injustice in plain sight needs to only connect. For example, the Guardian has been, I mean, When Russell Brand was a published writer on The Guardian, it was Alan Rubisha, who is no longer in the post. The post that Alan Rubisha occupied is now being occupied by Catherine Venety. And Catherine Venety is married to an equally vacuous, corrupt individual self seeker, Adrian Childs. So the media, including the Guardian, as typified by the Guardian, the media is corrupt. And the corruption is not just in the editorial disastrous policy of capitulating to and colluding with the likes of Russell Brand, but is also in the greed, physical greed that Catherine Venety has shown. She has stolen hundreds of thousands of money that has been really based on the donation of Guardian readers. And she has given herself pay rise that is hundreds of thousands of pounds worth every year. And if you look at the Guardian's corrupt, let's check the Guardian's current kind of corrupt thing about how important it is. And the Guardian is supporting HS2 criminality. So that is a connection, of course, because the connection with Manchester, because Manchester being dropped from the HS2 plan, and the Guardian is historically the Manchester Guardian. So it has got a pretended connection with the Manchester. That is understandable. Now this is the current boast that the Guardian is running. The Guardian has spent the last 13 years. I'll read that again. The Guardian has spent the past 13 years tirelessly investigating the shortcomings of the Tories in office: austerity, Brexit, Partygate, cronyism, the trust debacle, and the individual failings of ministers who behave as if the rules don't apply to them. Well, that is a stupid claim because it doesn't include anything to do with the corruption in the rest of society, especially as perpetrated by the local councils. And it most certainly doesn't mention the individual fighters and campaigners and victims of the conservative policies and the narrative that the conservatives represent, but the narratives that are being implemented by the Labour controlled councils as well. So we shall be talking about more of these in due course, except to say that this is why we say that what we broadcast is world exclusive, original. And we have been doing this long before the age of the internet appeared. We have been doing this in other ways, in really print publications, in actual barbell advocacies and campaigning. And we've been doing this both in the United Kingdom and internationally. And we've been doing this finally without any need for us to explain any or benefits we received. The simple reason is that the need doesn't exist because we don't. We have never campaigned on any issue by asking for money to be donated for it, and we have never done that on any issue. As we said earlier at the beginning of this particular edition, the BB Angel Geronimo campaign is done completely and utterly and fully and confidently and ethically and morally without us seeking any money, benefit, approval, whatever. We tell the truth, and that is what counts, and that is what matters, and that is what it is about. We tell the truth, and that includes we tell the truth even about some of those who otherwise might be presumed to be the exception to the lying status quo in the United Kingdom. So where are we going now? We've done the Russell Brand, and we add Julie Burchill. For her racism, for years, we spelt her name as Julie Beach Hell, meaning Julie is the beach from hell. In other words, Julie is the racist bitch from hell. And she has got a former husband who is absolutely criminal, Tony the cunt Parsons, who is a regular columnist on the Murdoch owned and controlled Scum on Sunday. Tony the cunt Parsons, the nearest comparison is with Andrew Pierce on the Daily Mail. These two criminals claim to be from the working class. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? It's the ethics, the morality. So, what they say when they actually want to promote their illegitimate views and stances as being legitimate and not so bad is to say that I am a gay, which is what Andrew Pierce claims he is, and I am from the working class, which is what the criminal Tony Parsons claims he is. Now, the only other person that we have not mentioned in connection with Russell Brand, we shall talk about Karen Brady in a minute, but I spoke earlier about Julie Beach Hall. Julie Beach Hall was given a big space by the Sun to apparently write a critical piece about the rapist Russell Brand. But as we exposed yesterday, she really is not campaigning against Russell Brand. She is comparing him positively with Jimmy Savile and other criminals. She is saying that he is better than them. Now, let me put this for Julie Bichel to be no doubt about the morality of it at all. There is no better rapist than the other rapist. There is no better misogynist than the next misogynist. There is no such thing as comparing for awards. Rapist is a rapist, A sex abuser is a sex abuser. A pedophile is a pedophile. And Russell Brand has always been bad. And he remains bad and he will. He is doomed to be forever bad. Innal batila kana zahuka. Innal batila kana zahuka. Falsehood is doomed to be exposed, let's say. Now, Nigel Lye's son, Dominic's Lye's son, has got a piece in the Sunday Times against his former kind of role model, the liar, the multiple liar, the congenital liar, the evilness, the racist, and sex abuser, Boris Johnson. And the reason is partly in response to the pleas coming from the sinking Rishi Sunak, that there should be some kind of promotion indirectly for the parasite Rishi Sunak, which is exactly what this is, and it is not unconnected with the fact that Sunak's best friend and his chief advisor in number 10 Downing Street now is Allegra Stratton's husband, James. And as a former editor of the political editor of the Spectator, knows these people, Dominic Lyson et al., very well. So the idea that Rishi Sunak is an independent individual with any integrity whatsoever, it never existed. It never existed. Now, whatever have they done to Camilla Long on the Sunday Times? Because she appears to be not appearing every Sunday. There is another name. What's her name? It's a name that they have replaced her with, Camilla Long with, is Sarah Dittam. I don't know who this Sarah Dittam is, but the way she is posing in that picture suggests that she is not an individual that can be trusted, which is part of the reason why she is there. She is pushed away. So let's check who this Sarah Dittam is, however you pronounce it. I'm pronouncing it as it is written. Well, she is a racist apart from anything else. So, not a very well, she says that she's a writer, especially on women's issues, but there is nothing in her Twitter account that I'm looking at about the serial rapist, sex offender, evilness, Russell Brand. Shall be ending this particular edition at 45 minutes, and I shall continue on the outstanding updating issues in later editions.